What's up, everybody? It's Sam here from the Gambling Corner podcast. And before we get to your scheduled program, I'm here to tell you about Anchor. It's now easier than ever to start your own podcast. Their free app gives you everything you need to get your podcast off the ground. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or computer. And if you're worried about getting your podcast heard, don't worry. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. What's up, everybody? My name's Sam, and this is the Gambling Corner, brought to you by Fat Lad Sport. Today is Thursday, April the 22nd, and on today's show, we're going to go over the upcoming weekend's football. We'll also be joined by star of the show, Mr. Liam Doe, to give you his likes, thoughts, picks, dislikes, and anything else we can think of on the weekend's action. But before we get to Liam, I want to talk to you about Baxter Blue. Do you experience digital eye strain from too much blue light exposure from digital screens? Baxter Blue Light glasses are not your average frames. These blue light lenses filter 80% of the highest energy blue light, eliminating 99% of glare. This past year, we've all been glued to our devices more than ever. I know I have, constantly refreshing Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, and the all-important gambling sites too. Our exposure to digital light has soared, and our eyes and sleep are suffering as a result. Baxter Blue are also a force for good and provide a pair of reading glasses for somebody in need for every pair sold. This is eyewear built for our digital age, and Baxter Blue is giving our listeners 10% off your next purchase of blue light, sleep or kids glasses. Click the link in our show description for your exclusive discount. This is the sign you've been waiting for to invest in blue light glasses. We know you'll love your Baxters, and we know you'll feel the difference. So the Premier League weekend starts on Friday at 8 p.m. with Arsenal playing Everton. Arsenal currently 17-20. 5-2 the draw, and Everton at 16-5. And to be honest with you, I want absolutely no slice of Arsenal, and I wouldn't even bet them if you, the listener, were paying for my bets, which you are not. So Arsenal have 4 wins in 12. 7 of Arsenal's last 12 have gone over 2.5 goals. 2 clean sheets in those 12 games. 18 goals scored in 12 and 16 goals conceded. 4 wins in the last 14 home games, 6 defeats and 4 draws. 2 wins in the last 5 home games, 2 defeats and a draw. Everton, 5 without a win, 3 wins in 11, 3 straight draws. Away form isn't that bad either, to be fair. 7 wins from 11 away from home, 1 defeat and 3 draws. 2 wins in 5 away from home with 3 clean sheets, but have failed to score in the last 2 away games. I've got no leans either way. I think Everton might be the side to be on, but again, as I say, I do not want any part of it. So that takes us all the way to Saturday, and the early kickoff on Saturday is Liverpool and Newcastle. Liverpool currently 1-4, the draw at 5s, and Newcastle at 10s. After 6 defeats in 7, Liverpool are 4 without defeat, 3 wins and a draw in the last 4, 3 clean sheets in 13. Of the last 4 undefeated, 7 goals scored and 2 conceded. They've had well-documented home struggles, 1 win in 9, 2 draws and 6 defeats. Failed to score in 6 of those 9, scoring 3 and conceding 12. All that said, I feel like Liverpool are the only side to be on in this game. Newcastle have had back-to-back wins of 3 undefeated. 2 wins in 11 away games, failing to score in 7 of those. Both teams to score has happened 3 times of those 11. And they've played 9 games against the current top 6, winning 2, which is both against West Ham, drawing 1 and losing 6. Again, there's only one side to be on, and Newcastle are not that side to be on. So that takes us to the West Ham and Chelsea game at 5:30, I believe. West Ham at 15-4, the draw at 11-4, Chelsea at 11-8. With West Ham's last 10 games, they've had 5 wins, 3 draws and 3 defeats. They've conceded 2 or more in each of the last 4 games, scored 2 or more in each of the last 4 as well. Both teams to score has happened 6 times out of the last 10 games. 3 West Ham clean sheets in 10. Only twice have West Ham failed to score in the last 10 games. West Ham are also only 3 home defeats all season, with 4 draws and 9 wins. Unbeaten in 5 at home, winning 4. Scored at least 2 in those 5 games. 2 home clean sheets in the last 5 as well. So on to the Chelsea side, we have a potential look-ahead spot here for Chelsea with midweek Champions League semi-final. Chelsea have, since Tuchel has come in, 1 defeat in 13, 9 clean sheets in those 13, 17 goals in the 13 games. 9 goals conceded in those 13, 5 of which, of course, were at home to West Brom. Unbeaten in 6 away from home, keeping 3 clean sheets. Only 2 of those 6 going over 2.5 goals. I struggle really to split them. If I was forced to lean, I'd lean Chelsea because of West Ham's poor defending of late. They seem to be shipping a lot of goals and looked especially bad against Newcastle last week. So that takes us to the last game on Saturday, which is Sheffield United and Brighton. Sheffield United 17-4, the draw at 13-5, and Brighton at 7-10. Obviously, as we know, Sheffield United were relegated last week, so we see this quite a lot with relegated sides. They then have the weight of the world taken off their shoulders, so they play with a little bit more freedom. So there's the potential there for Sheffield United even, to go on a little bit of a run. So it's been 18 games since Sheffield United last drew. They last drew away at Brighton. They've had 3 wins and 14 defeats since then. They've failed to score in 10 of those 18. They've only scored 3 goals in the last 10 games. 21 goals conceded in those last 10. 3 wins in the last 10 home games and 7 defeats. Failed to score in 4 of those 10, keeping 2 clean sheets. Brighton, again, similarly, not fantastic. 2 wins in 10. 4 draws and 4 defeats, 4 clean sheets in 10. Failed to score on 4 occasions. 3 wins in 10 away from home. 4 clean sheets in those 10. Only one of those 10 has gone over 3 goals. I do like Brighton. It's a relatively big spot for them to ease their relegation fears. Although I do have a little bit of trepidation towards Sheffield United based on that freedom factor. Again, I feel like Brighton is the side to be on in that one. So then that takes us on to Sunday, I believe. So on to Sunday we go, and we start off with Wolves and Burnley. Wolves 19-20, the draw is 23-10, and Burnley are 3s. Wolves, 2 wins from 2, keeping 2 clean sheets. 2 wins, 2 defeats, and a draw in the last 5. Before back-to-back wins. 5 without a win, drawing 2 and losing 3. 3 clean sheets in their last 5 games. 4 wins, 4 defeats, and 2 draws in the last 10 home games. 3 clean sheets in those, and haven't scored more than 2 goals at home all season. Burnley with 2 wins in 13 games, 5 draws and 6 defeats. 3 straight defeats, conceded 2 or more in their last 3 straight defeats. 2 clean sheets in 13, and only failed to score in 4 of those 13 games. The last 4 games at home have gone over 2.5 goals. Points toward Wolves, but with nothing to play for it, is the motivation a factor for them? I lean Wolves, but Burnley really do need the result. So that takes us on to Leeds and Manchester United. Leeds are currently 3-1, the draw 14-5, and Man United 5-6. Leeds hadn't drawn in 19 games, but 2 of their last 5 have been draws, winning the other 3. 4 straight games, both teams to score. 3 wins in 8 at home, 2 draws and 3 defeats. 3 clean sheets in those 8, and they've only scored 6 in those 8 games. On to the Manchester United side, who are 13 league games unbeaten. 5 straight wins, 6 clean sheets in those 13 unbeaten. Of their 5 straight wins, they've scored 11 and conceded 3. Only once have they conceded more than 2 in those 13 games. That was a 3-3 draw with Everton. And again, 3 straight games, both teams to score. Manchester United have a fantastic away record. They're unbeaten away in the league this season. 7 away clean sheets. Last 7 away games, 3 times have both teams to score. 22 away games since their last defeat, which was at Anfield, I believe. I like Manchester United to win. It's a possible look-ahead spot to the European semi-final and then Liverpool the following weekend. But given their away record, I don't think you can ignore Manchester United for that one. And then we move on to Aston Villa and West Brom. Villa 4-5, the draw at 13-5, and West Brom at 10-3. So Villa have 2 wins in 10. They've really sort of slipped pretty much since Grealish went out the side, to be honest. 3 draws and 5 defeats, 3 straight games, both teams to score. 3 clean sheets in 10. Only once scoring more than 2 in those 10 games. 1 win in 5 at home, 1 clean sheet in those 5. Since beating Liverpool 7-2 at home, they've played 13 games at home, winning 4, losing 7 and drawing the other 2. 5 clean sheets in 13 since the Liverpool win. And West Brom have back-to-back wins. They've scored 8 goals in those 2 games. Obviously, as we said earlier, 5 of those coming against Chelsea. 3 league wins in 10 with 3 clean sheets. They've failed to score in 5 of the last 10. 2 away wins in the league all season. They have failed to score on 6 occasions this season away from home. 1 clean sheet away from home all season and a -10 goal difference. 16 goals have been scored away from home by West Brom this season, which 5 of which were, as we said, against Chelsea. 28 goals all season, of which 16 have been away from home. My lean would be to Villa due to West Brom's away record, but I probably won't bet it. And then the last game is on Monday night. We have Leicester and Palace. Leicester at 4-9, the draw at 10-3, and Palace at 13-2. Again, this is a pretty easy handicap for me. Leicester need to win. Crystal Palace do not. So, in theory, that makes us a very easy handicap with Leicester. So, my lean for that game is Leicester. We also have the Carling Cup final on Sunday with Manchester City and Chelsea. I believe it's Chelsea. No, it's not Chelsea. It's Tottenham, isn't it? Fuck me. Yeah. So Man City and Tottenham. Obviously, we know the well-documented stuff this week about the European Super League, which obviously, as a football fan, I was totally against and had written a couple of blog pieces about how much I disliked the idea. That mixed in with the turmoil of Jose Mourinho being sacked this week and Ryan Mason coming in. Everything points towards Manchester City, recency bias. I just don't see a side to make the case for Tottenham. So my lean again would be to Manchester City on that one. And that concludes our weekend Premier League and Carling Cup, Carabao Cup, League Cup final preview, whichever way you want to put it. And then we will now get to my friend and yours, Mr. Liam Doe. All right, let's get him on. Here is Liam Doe. Bonjour, Mr. Doe.
Hello, mate. How we doing?
I'm all right. Yourself?
All good, mate. Thank you.
Sorry, I was a bit delayed there. I was putting the dog downstairs.
I did hear a good boy, and I didn't know if that was my introduction or not.
Well, fuck it. We'll leave that in anyway. We'll let people decide for themselves. But here he is. Yeah, here he is anyway.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, the dog's back. Dog's back. Hi, Bailey. You listening to the podcast today? Yeah. Right. Okay. So, as you saw when I texted you earlier, I was doing some putting the washing away, so I haven't gone through the Premier League games, but obviously I'll do that later.
Yep. That's fine.
But I just stuck with my 4 picks because I'm I'm sold on all of them. So
Okay, I think it's a good week this week. So I'm pretty confident on my ones as well.
Yeah.
So we may have a solid discussion which ones stay in this week, I think.
Yeah, well, obviously we've got to fucking pull our fingers out this week. We've had 2, 1, and 4, so
yeah, so it can't be much worse than what it has been so far.
No.
But I'm confident we can at least go kind of 4-1, and if we get that golden 5-0, we've pulled it round.
Yeah, definitely. So, do you want to go with your 5th one if you've got 5, and then we'll go from there?
Yes. Okay, that's fine by me. I'm just writing down the odds for it. Right. So my 5th weighted pick is a double across a couple of leagues, and they're both played on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So first game, I'm going against a team that actually fucked us over last week in Dijon, who aren't mustard. It turned out to be when we bet against them. So I've got Rennes at home to beat Dijon, who are obviously quite poor themselves. So just in the French league, if you didn't know, 5th place gets Europa League qualifiers. And at the moment, Rennes are sitting in 7th, only 2 points behind that position. So they've still got everything to play, unlike Nice when we played on them last week. They still didn't have much to play for, but we went for them anyway. This week's a little bit safer because Rennes have got everything to play for. They can still get in Europa League. They sacked their manager 6 games ago. Since the new blokes come in, they've won 4, drawn 1, and lost 1. They lost their first game under the new manager against Lyon, which is obviously a tough game. They're doing well. So obviously they've won 4 out of their last 5 games going into this one, which is good form, obviously. Dijon beat Nice, as I've already said, to mess up one of our picks last week. That broke a 13 losing streak for them. But I'm not too worried about that. They're 13 points from safety with only 5 games to go. So they're pretty much down and out. And their away record this season, they've played 16, lost 11. So Rennes is the first part of the double on that side. The second part is Fenerbahce versus Kasimpa. Hopefully I've pronounced that one right, but you never know. So again, some context to this one. Fenerbahce currently 2nd in the Turkish league, 3 points behind Besiktas with 6 games to go. Also 3 points clear of Galatasaray in 3rd. Obviously 6 games to go. 2nd place in this league gets Champions League qualifiers. 3rd place gets Europa qualifiers. Obviously the winners go straight into the Champions League. So everything to play for, being 3 points behind Besiktas with 6 to go. They're playing 16th at home. Fenerbahce have turned around their form in recent weeks. They've won 3 out of their last 4, won 5 out of their last 9, only losing 1. They've won their last 2 at home after some inconsistent form during the season at home. It has been a bit hit and miss, but they've managed to turn it around and won their last 2 at home. And Kasimpa are in a relegation battle, but they're 4 points clear of relegation, playing a game less than the team in 16th. So they're still in quite a good position. They've drawn their last 3 in a row, but those coming up against poor opposition, including a 1-1 draw versus 21st and a 0-0 versus 15th. They've only managed to win 3 of their last 15, losing 6 of those. So I'd be fairly confident back in Fenerbahce at home against them. But as a collective double, that's my 5th weighted pick. That comes up at 0.81 to 1.
Okay, so my number 4 pick is going to be, it was my number 2 pick, but obviously the odds have slightly swayed it to put it down a little bit for me, which is Monaco.
Okay.
Monaco again on Sunday playing Angers. I think I said that right. So 3rd place Monaco are 2 points off Lille, who are top. 1 defeat in 18, 3 draws and 14 wins in those 18. They've had 5 clean sheets in a row, and 7 of their last 8 have been clean sheets in the league as well. They've conceded 1 goal in those 8 games. They've scored 18 goals in those 8 games. They have 1 defeat in 9 away from home, keeping 4 clean sheets, 24 goals scored and 9 goals conceded. So they're very strong. As we know, we said about Monaco previously, they've really turned the season around and they've still got a chance to win the league.
Yes, because we played on them a couple of times and it looked like, wow, Champions League football out of nowhere. Now it's potential title out of nowhere. So yeah.
So they're playing Angers or however you want to say it, and who have 2 wins in 15, keeping 4 clean sheets. They're 5 without a win, 3 defeats and 2 draws. They have conceded 23 goals in those 15 and scored only 8. Their home record is 5 games without a win at home, 3 wins in 13 games at home, and 1 clean sheet. No home clean sheet in 9. 20 goals conceded in those 13 home games, and they have scored 12. Monaco won 3-0 in the reverse fixture, and there's a real slight worry about a look-ahead spot because Monaco's next game is against Lyon, so it's a really big game for their season.
Okay, when's that?
Coming up. I think it's in midweek.
All right, yeah, okay.
I think. I will double check. I thought it was midweek. Monaco fixtures. No, it's a week after the Angers game.
So that's all right. I wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no real look ahead spot there at all.
Yeah, so they need they need the points this week, and with a week to go, there's not too much of a look ahead spot. That should be fine, I would imagine.
Yeah, and they were when I was doing this, they were 8 to 11. They're now up to 8 to 15. So that would be why. That's my only caveat on it is that the odds are slightly worsened for us.
Yeah, well, my first pick is 8 to 15, so I've still gone with it, number 1.
All right, great.
But so yeah, that's what you've got for number 4, is it?
Yeah, number 4, yeah.
Okay, my number 4 is Barnsley win versus Rotherham. So, as stated on previous pods, we've played on Barnsley a lot. Unbelievable form that has surged them into the playoffs. They're looking very comfortable in the playoffs at the moment. If they win this game, the playoffs is confirmed. So obviously a lot to play for. They've won 3 out of their last 4 and 11 out of their last 15. So obviously, like we said, played on them before. Very good form. And just to put into context how good they've played this season, they're 3 points off third place Bournemouth. So considering at the top a little while ago, it was kind of Norwich, Watford, Swansea, Brentford. They're now only a point behind Brentford, 2 points behind Swansea, and 3 points behind Bournemouth. So putting them next to those kind of names in the Championship, you can see how well they've been playing. And they're coming up against Rotherham, who are obviously in a relegation battle, played 2 games less than Derby and are 4 points behind. But I've looked into the last 5 games for Rotherham, and to be honest to them, I can't see them picking up too many points. Even if Derby were to lose their last 3, I still can't see Rotherham getting out of this mess. They've lost 3 on the bounce, including a very big defeat to Birmingham last week, which was a proper kind of 6-pointer. They lost that 1-0 at home. They've lost 5 in their last 7, and they've lost 11 out of their last 15. So in real poor form, coming up against the informed Barnsley side, who, if obviously, like as stated before, win this, they're in the playoffs. So everything to play for. And that's my 4th pick at 8 to 11. Barnsley are.
Lovely. I do like the Barnsley one. I must admit, we do like our Barnsley, don't we? So
we do indeed. I think this is the last week you can kind of play on it because, as stated, they win this, they're in the playoffs. They've got the last 2 games. Will they rest players? Probably. So we won't be playing on them again if they win this game.
Yeah. So my number 3 pick is Barcelona away to Villarreal on Sunday. Barcelona are 7 to 10. So one little tidbit about this: as we're recording this, Barcelona actually play tonight in a game that they should win. I think they're 1-5 home favourites against, is it Betis?
I'm not sure. I'll search for it while you go through yours.
Okay. So Barcelona in the league have 1 defeat in 20, 2 draws and 17 wins. They kept 9 clean sheets and scored 44 goals while conceding 15 in those 20 games. They have 4 wins and a defeat in their last 5. Obviously, the defeat last time out to Real Madrid. 9 wins and 1 defeat in the last 10 away games, again to Real Madrid. 6 clean sheets in 10 away games, 7 goals conceded in those last 10, 27 goals scored in the last 10. 8 times of those 10, Barcelona scored 2 or more. So who are they playing tonight?
They're playing 15th place Getafe.
Getafe, yes. They're like 1-5 at home or something.
So, yeah, if they win that, they go up to 2 points behind Atletico, same games played, and 2 points behind Real, with it's still a game in hand on them. So
yes, and they play Atletico in a couple of weeks, don't they?
Oh, really? That should be nice.
So on the Villarreal side, Villarreal, I think, have 3 wins in 5. I will just double check that because I can't read my own writing. Villarreal. Yesterday. Oh, they lost last night. Happy days. That makes me like them even more. Yeah. So they've lost their last. They lost last night. They won the week before. Yeah. So yeah. Right. I like them even more now. They lost last night. Barcelona. Before this good run of form, obviously halted last night. Villarreal were 8 without a win, 3 defeats and 5 draws in those 8. 2 wins in the last 10 home games, which is now 2 wins in 11 home games. They've only failed to score in 2 of those 11. 12 goals scored in the last 11 home games and 15 goals conceded in the last 11 home games. I'm just doing this as I go. And 9 times out of 11, both teams have scored, but only 5 of those games, now 6, have gone over 2.5 goals. So I like Barcelona. I think it's a really, really good spot for Barcelona to put the pressure on the top 2 in front of them in Spain. So that, again, was my number 3 pick.
Just to add a little something to that as well, Villarreal have Arsenal on Thursday.
Of course they do.
So I know that because not only am I looking at it right now, there was a couple of teams this week that I was going to bet on. Potentially, I looked at Real Madrid against Betis. I ruled that one out because they've got Chelsea on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And PSG are playing away at Metz on Saturday, but they're playing Manchester City on Wednesday. So I didn't want to risk it with a look-ahead spot. So I think for Villarreal's sake, that's a look-ahead spot for them, having Arsenal in the semi-finals of the Europa League.
Yeah, Manchester United was another one that I looked into, and then they were the most obvious look-ahead spot away at Leeds.
Yeah, exactly.
As well, so.
Which helped your Barcelona side even more.
Yeah, I do like the Barcelona side of it, I must be honest.
Right. My third pick, Blackpool at home against Shrewsbury. If you don't pay much attention to League One, not long ago, Blackpool were 21st, I believe, or 22nd in the relegation zone. Bob. And they're now 4th in League One after 2-3 months of good form. Proves how bad the league is. But hey-ho, they've gone from being very poor at the start of the season to the most informed side in the league. They've only lost 1 in their last 17, winning 8 of those games. Their last 9 games, won 5, drew 3, lost 1. The last team to beat them at home was actually Ipswich in October. Since then, they've gone 16 unbeaten at home. Again, adding context to it, so I'm going off teams that need to win this week because it comes to this time of the season where you look at sides, i.e. I looked at Cardiff to beat Wickham. Cardiff don't have anything to play for, so kind of what's the point? Are they going to be mixing it around? It's too risky. But in this regard, Blackpool do still have stuff to play for. They're 3 points clear of 7th placed Oxford. They have played 2 games less, but those game in hands tend to mean pretty much nothing in League One because everyone beats everyone. So they need to be winning these games, being only 3 points clear. They're 3 points clear of Pompey in 8th, only played 1 less than them. So they're still not guaranteed to be in playoffs. And obviously in hot form, I think they'll carry on the form against Shrewsbury, who have lost 3 in a row, lost 5 of their last 7. Their last 7 away, 2 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses. See, I don't think they've got much to play for. Technically still could go down, but they're 7 points clear of the relegation zone. Played 2 games less than Northampton, so a couple of games in hand. And Northampton only have 3 games less, so maximum 9 points there. So realistically, Shrewsbury is safe, so don't have too much to play for. But mathematically, they're not, even though they've got a couple of games in hand, so they should be fine. So Blackpool win this, pretty much playoff secured, everything to play for against a Shrewsbury side who have been in poor form. They're my 3rd pick at 8-13.
I think that's an important, excuse me, I think that's an important message to relay to people is that at this time of the year, you have a lot of games that are amongst teams with nothing to play for, and then there are games with teams that one side has something to play for and the other doesn't. That's the kind of matchup that you want, isn't it? Is you want one side max motivated, the other side not asked.
Exactly. So, yeah, the main reason, there's a couple of them on here. Cardiff being the one that I pointed out, they're playing Wycombe. 9 times out of 10, if Cardiff had a playoff place up for grabs or something like that, you'd be putting a fair bit on Cardiff. But with them having nothing to play for, Wycombe, I don't think are mathematically relegated yet, have everything to play for. Kind of what's the point in putting your money on a team that aren't really going to be up for it?
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, that's a very good point. You have to, this time of year especially, you have to pick your matchups, don't you?
Yeah, it's hard not to throw them teams when you see them at like 4-9 or whatever, just to throw them in your accumulator. You do kind of have to be a bit smart with it and pay attention because they do those odds for a reason, just to entice you to put them in, knowing full well they may not be playing their strongest side.
Yeah, so that takes us on to my number 2 pick, and that is Cheltenham at home to Colchester.
Okay.
Cheltenham, Chelsea, Colchester, Cheltenham. Cheltenham are 3-5 at home to win, and Cheltenham have got 5 defeats, 2 draws, and 12 wins from their previous 19 league games. 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat in the last 5. 10 clean sheets in the last 19 league games. Failed to score in 5 of the last 19 league games. Last 5 wins for Cheltenham have all been to 0. Both teams to score has happened only 5 times in those 19. And 6 wins, 2 draws, and 2 defeats in the last 10 home games for Cheltenham. 3 home wins in a row, 3 home clean sheets, 7 goals scored, and 3 conceded. It's a very, 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 very big spot for Cheltenham this weekend. They are 2 points below Cambridge and 2 points above Bolton in 3rd, with a game in hand over both. Obviously, 3 sides go up in the in League Two. So Bolton are playing Morecambe on Saturday, so that's 3rd against 4th, and Morecambe are only 3 points behind Cheltenham. So it's really a really, 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 really big game now for Cheltenham on Saturday. And they, to be honest with you, they couldn't have found a better opposition to play than Colchester. Colchester, like we said earlier, find the team that has nothing to play for. Not much to play for Colchester. They're 9 points clear of the relegation places. They have back-to-back wins against relegation zone Southend and 19th placed Walsall. But before those, they were 10 without a win. Before that, 5 draws and 5 defeats. Colchester have won 3 games in 27 with 11 draws and 13 defeats. Their away record is absolutely abysmal. They have one away win all season, 10 defeats and 10 draws. They've scored 12 goals away from home all season in 21 games, and they've failed to score in 11 away games. They've scored 13 points away this season. They scored twice against Oldham in their last away game, but they've gone 10 straight games before that without scoring away from home. 5 defeats and 5 0-0 draws in the 10 that they failed to score in. Seems like the best possible place, really, doesn't it? But when you listen to that Colchester away record, if you're gonna cement your place in the automatic promotion spots, you want a side that's won one game all season away from home.
Yeah, so just to add to that as well, actually, as you said it, I'm looking at the League Two table. They scored their 2 against Oldham, you say.
Yeah.
And they've got the worst defence in the league.
Who Oldham have?
Yeah.
Oh, have they?
And I obviously follow Leagues 1 and 2 a little bit more than your average fan or whatever. Colchester played Southend the other night, and that was literally kind of a cup final. Who's going to go down? Who's going to stay up?
Yeah,
that was at Colchester. Obviously, Colchester won, so they've pretty much just won their cup final. Coming off the back of that, they're now just looking at it. They need a point to be mathematically safe, so they're 9 points clear with 3 games to go. So unless they get battered about 5-6-0 every game, Southend win 3 in a row, Colchester lose 3 in a row. They're staying up now. So they've won their cup final the other day. With the away form, I can 100% see a letdown spot. You should have seen the videos on. There's a couple of former Ipswich fans, Ipswich players that I follow on the Instagrams and stuff like that, and you could see from the celebrations that was kind of it for them. That was their cup final. So yeah, just even more to add to your point already. Cheltenham, massive game coming up against Colchester, who just won their cup final and are now staying up. You couldn't really have picked a better side.
No, when I sort of looked at that, because we played against Colchester, didn't we, a couple of months ago or something, and their away record at the time was fucking abysmal even then.
Yeah.
So when I saw that matchup, immediately as I was just looking through the fixtures, I thought, oh, there might be something there. And then the more I liked it, the more I looked into it, the more I started fucking grinning.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna find a side, that's the kind of team that you want to play.
100%. Yeah, love that pick.
So your number 2 pick?
My number 2 pick is a double. Atalanta home win versus Bologna, and PSV home win versus Groningen. I really like this double, but it depends a little bit on the games this evening. So Atalanta, obviously we spoke about the Italian league at the moment. There's a proper kind of scrap for 4th place and the Champions League spots. Atalanta play Roma tonight in their game in hand, and Napoli have a game in hand also against Lazio tonight. So kind of depends a little bit on this, but not too much. I still like the pick. So just a bit of context here. 2nd place AC Milan played 32, 66 points. 3rd place Juve, 32 games, 65 points. Atalanta got their game in hand tonight, as stated. They're in 4th place on 64 points, and Napoli are in 5th with their game in hand tonight on 60 points. So for them, top 4 places at the moment, obviously very tight. So everything to play for Atalanta, even if they win tonight against Roma away. So Atalanta form-wise, 5 straight league wins and 6 straight home league wins. And then you're coming up against Bologna, who are the 3rd worst away from home in the league. Played 16, won 3, drew 4, lost 9. And then just to make it even better for the picks, their record away from home against the top 7, they've played 6, lost 6. Bologna, this is, away from home. So, yeah, I really like Atalanta no matter what the result tonight. Bologna are terrible away. Played the top 7 6 times, away from home, lost all 6 times. And as stated, Atalanta's home form, 6 straight home wins. And the other part of this double is PSV versus Groningen, another kind of game that has a lot on it. So in this league, top gets Champions League in the Eredivisie, second go into the Champions League qualifiers, and third go into the Europa League qualifiers. So obviously everyone wants to get the Champions League. Ajax are clear at the top, so don't even kind of worry about them. They won't be able to catch them. But PSV and third place AZ Alkmaar both played 29 games, both on 61 points. PSV are second on goal difference at the moment. This is with 5 games to go. PSV's form recently, they've won 5 of their last 8, and their last 7 at home, they've won 5, drawn 2. So obviously very good at home, and they're playing Groningen, one of these teams that I've stated about before, nothing to play for. They're 6th in the league, can't get Champions League, can't get Europa League, literally nothing to play for, and that's kind of proven with their last 5 games. Lost 3 of their last 5, drawing the other 2 against 18th place and 16th place. And yeah, I've just put on the bottom there, nothing to play for, as I've already said. So you've got PSV fighting for Champions League, and you've got Groningen, nothing to play for. AZ Alkmaar also have Ajax away, so it's a very good position for PSV if they win this to potentially go 3 points clear, depending if Ajax beat AZ Alkmaar.
Yeah, that's a good pick, isn't it? Because of the Ajax AZ game as well.
Yeah, so realistically, you're looking at probably AZ Alkmaar dropping 8 points or potentially dropping 3 points.
Yeah.
So brilliant position for PSV coming up against a Groningen side, nothing to play for. So as a double, Atalanta win versus Bologna, PSV win versus Groningen comes up at 0.73 to 1.
So would I be right in thinking that we have the same number 1 pick?
I think we may well do.
Yeah, I think we do as well then.
Is it a team, if they win, they are promoted?
Yes, indeed it is.
Well, there we go.
There we go, right. You go through your Watfordy bits and then I'll see if there's anything for me to add. So obviously our number 1 pick and the first pick that's going to go into our official best bets will be Watford.
Watford win versus Millwall at home. A Watford win and they are promoted. They are obviously the inform side at the moment. Played against Norwich the other day and won that one, which pretty much secured their promotion, but this one does if they win it mathematically. Form-wise, they've won 12 of their last 15. We've played on them previously there. And as stated, them and Barnsley, the inform sides in the league. The last time they dropped points at home was February 1st against QPR, losing that game. Since then, 7 straight home wins. Millwall, nothing to play for in 11th. Can't get playoffs. Miles away from playoffs, really. Probably finished in the top half, but as said, nothing to play for. And that's proven in their last 3 results. 2 losses, 1 draw. Last 6 away, very kind of hit and miss. 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. Playing against the informed side. Playing on the informed side, sorry. And yeah, a win and promoted. What more do you want to kind of get promoted at home? Against a London rival.
As stated, of those 7 straight home wins, 6 of which have been clean sheets.
Yeah.
They've scored 17 in the last 7 home games as well. I didn't realise quite how big their home and away split was. They've got 85 points. 53 of them have been at home.
Yeah.
And they've got a plus 41 home goal difference.
Yeah. So it's kind of all in Watford's favour to go get promoted at home on Saturday against a London rival in Millwall.
Yeah, I absolutely love that Watford pick.
Yes, definitely.
So what I think we might have to do is we might have to reconvene because in 12 minutes I have to go and pick up the littlest one.
Okay, priorities definitely. You can't be leaving her about while we have a heated discussion on our
No,
five picks.
because I think this could be very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be tougher than usual. Usually we can write down our 5, and that's pretty much set in stone already before the discussion. This time I think that goes each way here. So
yeah, definitely. All right, we'll reconvene then.
Sounds good.
All right, bye.
Right, let's go for it.
Yeah, this could get tasty. So here we go.
Right, I think obviously Watford's in, so we've got 4 to choose from.
Yeah.
I liked your Cheltenham handicap a lot, so
Mm-hmm.
I think that's another one that goes straight in.
Yeah, I was going to fight my corner for Cheltenham.
Yeah, I like the handicap for that a lot. So that leaves us with 3.
Yeah.
To go. So yeah.
Well, I think based on the form and looking at things, the spot for Monaco as well, I liked.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of that Monaco pick. I also liked your Fenerbahce and who else was it? Double.
Rennes.
Yes, I like that double as well. Is there any that you want to that you would live and die for? Obviously, we have the Watford pick, which is the consensus number 1 pick that we're going to make this week anyway.
See, it's tough because I think out of all of our picks, we've got a lot of winners to choose from, which makes it even harder. And League One and Championship is just so tricky.
Yeah.
But I do like Blackpool against Shrewsbury. Barnsley, Rotherham as well.
Barnsley, yeah. I think we've ridden Barnsley, haven't we? Plenty of time. So potentially that makes sense to go in as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just tricky with that one, just because Rotherham still have more of a chance of staying up.
Yeah.
But just looking at the handicap for it again, you got Blackpool, who haven't lost at home since October. So 16 games.
Yeah. And if Blackpool win, they're into the playoffs, aren't they?
Pretty much confirmed.
Yeah, all but.
Yeah. And then the Shrewsbury side, they have lost their last 3 in a row against. They've lost against Oxford, who are 7th, Doncaster, that have been in poor form, and then Wigan, that have kind of propelled themselves out of the relegation scrap. So it's not like they're playing world beaters. So I do like the Blackpool one. I think more that if I had to choose between Barnsley and Blackpool, I'd have Blackpool in there. So I'd like to put that one in. And then, we've still got the double one that I had as my second weighted pick. I love the PSV side.
Yeah.
It just kind of all depends on tonight's fixtures as well for the Atalanta one. Which is the only thing that's putting me from saying that 100% is going in, is just that side of it. Because say they win, Atalanta win against Roma tonight.
Hang on, mate. You keep saying what you're doing. I'm being shouted at by a little person. I'll be back in a second. You fell.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, as said earlier in the pod, you've got AC, Juve, Atalanta, and Napoli fighting for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th for Champions League. But if Napoli were to lose tonight against Lazio, they've got Lazio at home. If they lose that game, then Atalanta win their game against Roma away. That would then put a gap of 7 points with the 6 games to go, which is obviously going to be tough for Napoli to catch Atalanta at that point. So depending if that was to happen, I don't think I'd like the Atalanta side as much. But I'm just going to have a look into their remaining fixtures, because there could be a potential look-ahead spot as well.
Right, we're back. You did a great job of filling there.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Gracie? Love you too.
So, the games remaining for Atalanta after the Roma and Bologna game, they've got Sassuolo away, who are 8th. They've got Parma away, Benevento at home, Genoa away, and then AC Milan. So their running isn't bad. I was just saying, Sam, if Atalanta win this evening against Roma, then Napoli lose at home to Lazio. That then puts a seven-point gap with 6 games to go. And Atalanta would be, well, they'd go up to second. But just in regards to the 4th place, they'd be 7 points clear with 6 games to go. And with that, just looking into their games they've got remaining, they've got Sassuolo, which is a tough game away from home, and you put AC Milan down as a tough game. But that's last day of the season, so depending, that could all be wrapped up by then anyway. Which makes me think that this Atalanta game is going to be a massive one either way. Because even if
win or lose tonight.
Yeah, so even if Napoli, worst come scenario for us, Atalanta beat Roma, Napoli beat Lazio, Lazio beat Napoli, sorry. Then there's a 7-point gap. Then going into Sunday's game against Bologna, if they win that, then it's pretty much confirmed top 4.
Right.
So I think even if it goes worst possible outcome for us, they're going to be up for it, and they've still got their next game isn't for a week anyway, so they've still got a week to go before the next one. That could ultimately wrap up top 4 if it goes worst case scenario tonight. So I do like the Atalanta and PSV double as well.
So we want Atalanta to drop points tonight.
We wouldn't mind either a loss or potentially both teams draw, so it's still tight. If Napoli to win and Atalanta lose, they'd be 1 point behind. Napoli would be 1 point behind on the same game. So if that was to happen, that would obviously be then a must win against Bologna. But like I said, even if it's worst case scenario, they go 7 points clear. They win that game, which will still be a big game. They've pretty much wrapped it up. So I still think there's motivation there.
Yeah.
So I'd like that double to go in as well.
Okay. All right. Well, you hold veto power over it as well. So
at the moment, we've got Watford, Atalanta, and PSV. Cheltenham. Blackpool. And then we've got one more to go. So I think, to be honest, I do like the Rennes Fenerbahce one, but it's always the same with us. When we go with 2, it's still more risky to go with 2 rather than 1. So I'd rule that one out, and then I think we just kind of fight our case between the Barcelona and Barnsley pick.
Yeah. Hold on, Gracie. I'll be done in a minute, Gracie, sweetheart. I promise. Yes, you can put that dress on when we're finished. Yeah. Okay.
So just from the Barnsley side, I'll fight my case a little bit. As I said on the podcast earlier, they win this game, they've got playoffs confirmed. I've said they're only 3 points behind third. So even though it does look like Barnsley Rotherham relegation scrap, is completely opposite to that. Barnsley have been arguably one of the best sides in the league this season. And Rotherham, I think, potentially heads down, losing that Birmingham game, losing the last 3 in a row and losing 5 out of their last 7. Even with the 2 games in hand on Derby, I can't see them picking it up with the games they've got left. So I do like that Barnsley pick, even though Rotherham are still scrapping for their lives.
Yeah, and I like the Barcelona one because of the spot.
Yeah.
And with their away record, with their league record, you know, barring they win tonight, which they should do at home, I do like them, especially with the price that they're at. All things considered, you don't very often get Barcelona at like 8 to 11 or 7 to 10 or whatever they were. So, yeah, it's fucking tough, isn't it?
it could be the difference between a 4-1 or a 3-2. You know what it's like.
Yeah.
It's
And
tricky.
yeah.
But the only thing for this one, which we may have
Yep.
forgotten about, was that look-ahead spot for Villarreal as well.
Yes.
Which plays into the Barcelona hand even more.
Yeah.
That they are still fighting for points as well on that regard. So there is a look-ahead spot, but when you look at the table, they're joint 5th at the moment. 5th goes automatically into Europa League.
Yeah.
Sociedad have a game in hand on them. If Sociedad win that, Villarreal would drop to 7th, which then puts them out of the Europa League qualifiers, let alone just straight into Europa League. So there is a look-ahead spot, but they still need points. Potentially, maybe just have a look at their running, because they could kind of almost forget the Barcelona game if they've got an easy running.
Yeah, it depends on who they play. They can almost see it as a free hit.
Yeah, so they've got, don't really play into my hands much at all, to be fair. They've got Getafe next week at home, which is a kind of must-winner. They've got Celta Vigo at home, who haven't been doing great. And then they've got Valladolid away. And then their last two come up against Sevilla and Madrid. They've got a couple of tough games towards the end of the season, but they could potentially wrap it up with the Getafe, Celta Vigo and Valladolid. And to be fair, Barcelona, all comes down to the league now. They've won their cup final last week, so this is literally it. And they need, if they win that game, the pressure really is on. So 2 points behind Madrid with their game in hand on them, and 2 points behind Atletico playing the same. So yeah, I'd go Barcelona.
You would go Barcelona?
Yeah, I think it kind of plays into their hands a little bit. I think Villarreal, with their next 3 league games, obviously if they beat Arsenal and then somehow win the final against probably United, they're in Europa League anyway, so points wouldn't matter too much. So they could put all their eggs in that Arsenal basket, to be honest, in Europa League. Because then they're in Champions League rather than Europa, aren't they, if they win that? So it could just be all their eggs are in that basket. But
it's a fucking funny one, isn't it? Because if you look at it from the outside, imagine having a debate about which team you wanted to bet on more, Barnsley or Barcelona.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah, I think possibly we go with Barcelona on that one, because as you say, Barcelona, it's an all-in spot, isn't it? Because they haven't got anything else to play for now. There's no other games left. But Villarreal have, there is a big look-ahead spot, as we've said before, for the game on Thursday night against Arsenal. So potentially they could see this as a free hit, and if they win their other 3 games, they put themselves in a decent position to qualify for Europe without the Europa League.
Yeah.
So it's difficult, isn't it?
It is. I'd go Barca. We'll play off the go.
Yeah, but when you've got the greatest of all time on your side.
This way we've got 3 as well each. Obviously, one of them being the same. That way, 3 each.
Yeah.
So,
so Watford, Cheltenham, Blackpool, Atlanta, and PSV, and Barca.
That's the 5, I think. That's the 5-0 week. That's the 5-0 week.
Yeah. Well, hopefully.
Dreams come true.
Yeah, dreams come true. 5-0, we rescue them up.
We'll see. Yeah, I'm happy with them 5.
Yeah, I'm confident enough in those as well. Definitely. So yeah, if you're happy enough, then I'm happy enough.
Right, I'll confirm them. I'll write them down. So we've got Watford home win versus Millwall. That'd be Saturday at 3:00. We've got Cheltenham home win versus Colchester. Again, Saturday 3:00. Barnsley. Blackpool home win against Shrewsbury. Saturday 3:00. Then we've got Barcelona. What time do they play on?
They are on Sunday, I believe. I will double check for you right now.
Okay, so we've got Atalanta win, which is Sunday at 7:45 in a double with PSV. And PSV play Groningen on Sunday as well.
Yeah, Barcelona Sunday, 3:15.
Right, let me just double check the PSV game. I believe that may be Saturday. That is Saturday at 5:45, and that's with the Atalanta, who play on Sunday at 7:45. And they are the 5 picks.
Yeah, well, I'm happy enough for them. I like them.
Happy days. Sounds good to me, mate.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck, everybody, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, good luck on your bets, lads.
Thanks for watching. Bye.